What is going on?
Welcome, wrestling warriors. You're tuned into Wrestle Watch Central, your daily dose of WWE. Hit that bell, and let's get started. Survivor Series has always been a defining moment on the WWE calendar, a night meant to bring resolution after weeks of chaos and rivalry. Fans expect winners, consequences, and a clear direction forward. This year, however, Survivor Series delivered something far more unsettling. One unexpected moment shifted the entire focus of the event, turning certainty into mystery. A masked attacker appeared during War Games, changed the outcome in seconds, and disappeared without a word. That single act left the WWE Universe searching for answers and set CM Punk on a collision course with the unknown. What followed was not closure, but the beginning of a far deeper story. Survivor Series didn't end the match. It started a mystery. Survivor Series is usually the kind of event that brings clarity. Feuds reach their breaking point, alliances are tested, and fans leave with a sense that something has been settled. This year, that expectation was turned completely upside down. Instead of answers, Survivor Series delivered confusion. A masked attacker appeared at the worst possible moment during War Games, blindsided CM Punk, altered the outcome, and vanished without explanation. That single act reshaped the entire narrative. CM Punk was not defeated in competition, he was ambushed. When Raw arrived, Punk's response made it clear this was not a temporary angle. Pride, legacy, and unfinished business now sit at the center of the story. The unanswered questions are, what give it power? Who was under the mask? Why was Punk the target? And how long will WWE allow this mystery to grow as WrestleMania season approaches? War Games and the promise of finality. War Games is designed to feel final. The structure itself represents confinement and punishment, forcing competitors to endure chaos until there is nothing left to give. By the time the match reaches its closing moments, everyone involved is exhausted, injured, and exposed. Fans expect that suffering to lead to clarity. At Survivor Series, the physical toll was undeniable. Bodies were scattered, movements were slow, and the crowd could sense the ending approaching. What no one expected was interference that had nothing to do with the teams involved. Instead of closure, War Games became the stage for something far more disruptive. The brutality of the match amplified the shock of the attack, making the moment feel even more invasive. War Games promised an ending, but what it delivered was the beginning of a much larger and more personal conflict. The silent arrival of the masked attacker. The most unsettling part of the attack was how quietly it began. There was no music cue, no camera focus, and no dramatic buildup. A figure dressed in black simply started climbing the cage with urgency. The movement was confident and deliberate, not rushed or sloppy. This was not someone improvising. This was someone executing a plan. As the attacker entered the ring, it became clear this was not meant to distract or intimidate. The goal was damage. The mask concealed identity, but it also symbolized intent. Whoever this was did not want recognition in that moment. They wanted impact. The silence surrounding the arrival made it feel more dangerous. In a match already defined by chaos, the intrusion stood out because it felt calculated, not emotional. Why CM Punk was the chosen target? CM Punk was not attacked by accident. In the middle of absolute chaos, the masked attacker found Punk and struck without hesitation. A clean super kick followed by a punishing stomp left Punk vulnerable in seconds. Punk's history makes him a meaningful target. He represents resistance, credibility, and an unwillingness to be controlled. Attacking Punk is not just physical, it is symbolic. It sends a message to the locker room and the audience. The precision of the attack suggested familiarity with Punk's positioning and timing. This was not random violence, it was targeted disruption. Punk was chosen because of who he is and what he represents. That choice elevated the angle from shock value to something deeply personal. A War Games result that felt irrelevant. When Braun Breaker secured the pen full, the bell rang, and War Games officially ended. Yet the reaction inside the arena made one thing clear. The result was secondary. Fans were not focused on victory or defeat. They were focused on what they had just witnessed. The masked attacker escaping the cage became the defining image of the night. CM Punk's condition and the unanswered questions surrounding the attack overshadowed the outcome entirely. This is rare for a match of this magnitude. War Games is supposed to dominate conversation. Instead, it became a backdrop. The interference didn't just change the result, it changed what mattered. Survivor Series ended with confusion instead of celebration, and that shift altered the direction of the entire show. 6. The WWE Universe reacts instantly. The reaction online was immediate and intense. Fans dissected every frame of the attack, replaying the footage repeatedly. Body language, striking style, and movement patterns were analyzed endlessly. Speculation became unavoidable. CM Punk is not an ordinary superstar, and attacking him creates ripples across the entire roster. WWE amplified the effect by refusing to clarify anything. There were no interviews, no official explanations, and no follow-up that night. The lack of answers allowed the audience to remain emotionally invested. Instead of cooling off, the conversation grew louder. Survivor Series did not end when the broadcast cut off. It continued across social media, forums, and debates, keeping the mystery alive. Silence as a deliberate storytelling choice. WWE's silence following the attack was not accidental. In modern wrestling, answers often come too quickly. This time, restraint became the strongest tool. By offering no confirmation or denial, WWE allowed imagination to take control. Silence created tension. It turned speculation into engagement. Fans were not being told what to think. They were being invited to think. Survivor Series ended with a question mark rather than an explanation, and that choice ensured the story carried momentum into Raw. Silence gave the angle credibility. It made the attack feel serious rather than theatrical. In doing so, WWE allowed the mystery to breathe. Searching for clues. Without certainty. As days passed, one thing became clear. The attacker was comfortable under pressure. The movements were smooth, the strikes precise, and the timing flawless. This did not feel like an inexperienced performer. Several names circulated, with one appearing more often than others, but WWE refused to validate any theory. That refusal was important. Instead of confirming speculation, WWE allowed every possibility to remain open. Each theory added another layer to the discussion. Fans weren't just waiting for answers, they were actively participating in the mystery. The lack of certainty kept interest high and ensured the angle felt unpredictable. CM Punk opens Raw with purpose. When Raw opened, CM Punk stood alone in the ring. The shock from Survivor Series was gone. What remained was focus. Punk addressed the attack directly, speaking with intensity and control. He made it clear that hiding behind a mask does not erase responsibility. This was not a moment of vulnerability. It was a declaration. Punk did not ask who attacked him. He promised that whoever it was would face consequences. The crowd responded immediately, understanding that this was not about sympathy. Punk's words reframed the story. This was no longer about mystery alone. It was about retaliation. The return of the masked threat. The tension returned when the masked attacker appeared once again. Same attire, same concealed identity. The atmosphere shifted instantly. This time, however, the balance of power was different. Punk was alert. He was ready. The attacker no longer had the element of surprise. That change mattered. The return confirmed that the attack at Survivor Series was not a one-off moment. This was ongoing. The presence of the mask reinforced the danger while reminding everyone that the mystery was still unresolved. Punk's retaliation. Without resolution. CM Punk did not hesitate. He charged and delivered a devastating go-to-sleep that shook the arena. The crowd erupted as Punk finally stood tall. The retaliation felt earned. It was physical proof that Punk would not remain passive. Yet the moment stopped short of resolution. The attacker escaped. The mask stayed on. Punk got revenge, but not answers. That distinction preserved the story's momentum. Violence alone did not end the mystery. it intensified it. Why the mask must stay on. For now, keeping the identity hidden is essential to the story's strength. The mask represents uncertainty, danger, and anticipation. A rushed reveal would limit the angle's potential. By delaying answers, WWE increases the emotional payoff. Whoever this attacker is, they altered War Games and directly challenged CM Punk. That act demands a reveal that feels meaningful. Mystery creates weight, and weight creates impact. The longer the mask stays on, the more powerful the moment becomes when it finally comes off. A story built for the road to WrestleMania. This storyline thrives on patience. CM Punk is not chasing redemption. He is defending respect and legacy. The masked attacker remains out there, injured but unidentified, shaping every move Punk makes. Survivor Series was not the conclusion. It was the first chapter. As WrestleMania season approaches, tension will continue to rise. When the truth is finally revealed, it will not simply answer a question. It will settle a score that began the moment everything changed.